Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In the Mixer, episode 74 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Thursday, wherever in the world you're watching from. Happy whatever day of the week it is, if you're watching in a playlist beyond the release of this episode. We are going Dutch a little bit today. I thought about wearing the old hashtag United green screen nightmare, but we might see how this orange one goes, if it comes through in the green screen or not. If not, I'm just a floating head. Who knows what's going through in that point. We've got a bit to recap. We're going to jump straight into the game and go through our previous results. So a couple of different things behind closed doors as far as the board is concerned. I've signed a new contract, which is fantastic to see. We also got them to commit to improving the training facilities, which will be done by October, which is well overdue. I haven't asked them to do that really at any point throughout the course of our progression up the division. And at the same time, they've improved our youth facilities. I don't think it's going to actually change a tremendous amount, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. If we look at our facilities here, they just say that it's a good condition for the stadium, even though we just got it. Poor training facilities, poor youth facilities. I think they're only going to move up to good. I don't think it's going to immediately go to like world class or anything like that. The investment hasn't been that big, but at least it's a step in the right direction. We haven't had that in a while. And I've also signed a 4-year deal. I'm on $1,000 a week. I think they offered me like $4,000 or $5,000, and I withdrew it down just to keep our finances on top. And this is kind of interesting characteristically. Like if I was going to do like some sort of one of those weird quizzes like on BuzzFeed, which tells you what Harry Potter house you're going to be in, if there was a managerial version, apparently I've got great tactical consistency, a wonderful hands-on approach. I've not taken a single training session the entire time we've been manager. Managing finances I'm good at, handling team discipline I'm good at, and a domestic player bias is very, very strong. Loyalty to players, interesting one, 25%. I've had, maybe a quarter of the squad we've got now come up with us since League 1. One player in there, up there since League 2. Media handling is apparently pretty good. Reputation is growing slowly but surely. We are getting more and more different job offers coming in from higher divisions. Things I'm known for, wanting a high-tempo pressing game, signing players of high reputation, signing players from the domestic game, and signing younger players for the first-team squad. All very prevalent there. Players for the future as well, we seem to do, preferring not to sign players approaching the second half of their careers. That's very, very true. And not signing anyone who's past their best or coming to the end of their career. Look, none of that is unfair. Perhaps fluent English is a bit of a stretch, given the accent and all that. And I don't really have any enemies, but I've got a few friends apparently. Kenny Jackett was a piece of shit. I hated him, he hated me, so I don't know how he's actually managed to wiggle his way into that one. And Gattuso and I just consistently tell each other to stop trying to poach our players. Funnily enough, he just got sacked from West Brom, who we play in a couple of weeks as well. Now, since that last episode, where we did, if you remember and think back, had a good little run of 5 games undefeated throughout September, we were brought crashing back down to earth by Stoke. They did win 1-0. They are currently top of the division, so we shouldn't be upset with ourselves. And we were actually, statistically speaking, the better of the two sides. But they were very difficult to break down. Like their defensive line, nearly all of them over 7. Kenny, the right fullback. Is that John Joe Kenny? It is John Joe Kenny. So a very, very strong team that they've got back here. Jonathan Panzo, John McGinn, Robinson leading the line. Looks to be a very high quality region. It's come through 15.75 million value. So they're obviously a very, very good side. So no shame in actually losing to them at any point. And then we were humbled 3-0 by Sheffield Wednesday. This was probably the closest we've been from the league season to being absolutely belted. You can see 16 shots for them, 15 of them on target. Our best player from a match rating perspective was Sheriff in goal, which kind of showed how effective we actually were. And across the board for them, only 2 players of starting 11 not getting into green 7.0 match ratings. So they were very, very good, very worthy of their win. Probably the best side I think we've come up against today. But it is a bit humbling. It does mean that we drop down towards 14th spot, 4 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. If we can get that mythical beast that is a 6-point episode today, I think we can jump up a little bit in the division and potentially keep our heads clear, well and truly clear of that relegation playoff position. Sorry, there is no relegation playoff. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Getting ourselves away from those relegation spots and the teams that are really struggling down towards the bottom of the division. As we look at the 2 lineups here, just one real player that's out at the moment. Wademan is currently injured for about 4 weeks. I think it is. He got injured in the last game against Sheffield Wednesday. Unfortunately, that was his parent club. That's where we picked him up from, first on loan and then signing him permanently. And you can kind of see actually with how good their midfield was and how dominant they were, why they were willing to let him go, being one of our better players. Otherwise, things are progressing nicely. We've got a good relationship forming between Ramsey and Dora, and they're getting like a little orange tick line between them, Everybody else continuing to work and build their relationships as well, which is great to see. They're playing a 4-4-2 with 2 deeper lying players. It looks like a false 9 here. This one's going to struggle. Lundulu. And Bayo looks like he might be a target man, just judging by the positioning on the pitch itself. Hassan Ali on the right-hand side is their leading assist maker. 15 dribbling, looks fairly solid, but nothing spectacular outside of that. And Sykes, their captain at the back, looks to be a fairly solid central defender, but again, nothing particularly jumping out at me as being magnificent in that group of stats. Their one regen in the starting lineup is McDonald, a deep-lying central midfielder. He looks all right. Usually a central defender, came through the Chelsea Academy. They're playing in midfield, 15 free kick taking, 19 aggression, 17 balance, some of the key stats that are jumping at us there. We'll keep an eye on that if he does line up at the free kick. But I would think we can do quite well against them. Passionately, I'm going to say, media have given you a lot of credit lately. Put on a worthy display. And at the moment, if we can keep a clean sheet, we're on good course to actually try and get a result here. Having said that out loud, I just realised we hadn't scored in 2 games. We conceded 4 in our last 2. So just a result, 3 points. That might just be a better bar to set for ourselves. Don't worry about goals and clean sheets and all that sort of shit. Let's just win a game. Ball forward now. Indio's got goal side on the left here and bursts his way into the box and cuts it back for Bio. And we've gone a goal down inside the opening 7 minutes here. We might be actually starting to see signs of fatigue coming through in the early part of the season. And potentially, if we have a poor performance here after 2 defeats, we might rotate the squad for the next game a little bit, get some of the squad players some match time, and hopefully freshen everybody up and reduce any complacency that might be in the lineup. It was a good run from Indio. That's what made the goal, and a wonderful cross back in. Bio gets above the defender, smashes that one home. Does see us drop down to 15th as things currently stand, which isn't the worst in the world, but there are a lot of teams level here on 16 points, 15 points, 14 points. We could very easily, with a poor performance in today's episode, drop down towards 19th and 20th spot, depending on other results around the league. Shoutouts, we're going to use Demand More just for the last 10 minutes here. Can we try and pull something back before half-time? Interesting to note, Wigan and Charlton, the other 2 sides that came up with us in the division, both struggling and towards the bottom of the league. We are performing the best of the Sky Bet League 1 promoted sides. I'm going to aggressively say, come on lads, show a bit of desire. And I'm going to learn my lesson from the other day where we went attacking in the second half and got torn apart. We're just going to leave it on positive and then we'll give it 15 minutes. If we don't improve from a performance perspective or from a goals perspective, we will move it forward to attacking for the last half an hour or so. Flick on header here from Lundulu. Now Welsh recovers and plays it into Granger, who's got time to turn. He's got men running off the shoulder. Instead he resets back through Welsh again. There's 2v1 on the right-hand side if we want to work it. Instead we go all the way back to Sheriff in goal. Again, Sheriff's manager from Barnsley is furious that we're not playing him as a goalkeeper when he's a natural sweeper keeper. Ball forward to Dorba. Can he play the reverse pass to Wolf? Good ball over the top for Doran, who's gotten goal side and found the finish. Wonderful strike for Henry Doran, his 10th goal of the season. And of course, you guys saw his 9th goal for the season in the last episode. We hadn't scored since that game, so good to see us back on the score sheet again. And a wonderful pass here from the Wolf, just curling that one around the defensive line. And Doran does quite well. Natural pace takes him around it. Keeper does get a big chunk of it, but thankfully, enough pace on the strike to actually force that one into the top corner and an equalising goal with about 40 minutes remaining. Right, now we've got 3 guys on yellow cards. I think that's the bigger concern than performances at the moment. So we're going to passionately say, I have faith in you. Go out there and make a difference. So the guys coming off will be Dave Rowley on the left wing, Lewis Wright at right fullback, and Stuart Darber at right midfield. Rafinha, Sam Morris, and Ricky Dean all come on. And if they have all responded positively to the shout, and we also use their Get Creative shout with 30 minutes remaining, potentially we can push on here and maybe find a winner. It would be nice to get 3 points in the first game and set ourselves up for potentially an opportunity to get 6 points. They've got a ball in here though. It's a good header from Hattabor. They've made quite a few subs now. Rodell Richards, ex-Tottenham junior, has come on the pitch. A very good high potential young English striker. Ball here, well recovered in midfield. The Wolf plays it out to Morris. Goes back to Welsh. Nearly put Welsh in a bit of danger, but he's done quite well. Long ball over the top to Doran, who's gotten goal side again and gets the strike away. Just had to look for that far corner, but instead he went for near post and the keeper powers that one out. We're going to use that Demand More shout as the corner's taken. Rafinha will take now, plays it short to Dean. Pinballs around, finds his way to Rafinha, who puts a ball in, but he's ruled out for offside. A couple of players focused after the Demand More shout. Really, we want to see everyone trying to push on and find a winner. We've got a corner here. Dean goes short to Rafinha. Now to Dean, near post runner there, and Taylor flicks it on. Henry Doran's poked it home for his 2nd goal of the season. Maybe shades of offside there. The assistant manager is running back and there is no VAR. We're going to check it out here in 3 dimensions. It looked like it just pinballed around, and thankfully he was on hand to poke it home from about a yard out. Rafinha actually gets tackled, so it's probably the best set piece routine we've done all year. Taylor with the initial header, good save from the keeper who spills it, and Doran was already breakdancing on the floor to try and poke that one home. Is this going to be our first comeback victory of the year? Oh, God, they've got a highlight here. Welsh out to Morris at right fullback, filling in for us on that side. The natural lefty comes inside to Dean. Wolf, back to Welsh. Long ball towards the corner flag. Hattabor should recover. Looks for a long ball forward of his own. Bio flicks on the header, but Preston Kelly will recover possession. Why are we sending it into the corner, boys? Just keep possession, please. Don't invite pressure by giving them the ball back. Granger finds Rafinha on the overlap. Can he find the ball and square it back up? Instead, he goes the strike from the wide area. We've got specific player instructions to stop our wide players doing that. Now they've got possession. If they go up the other end and score, I'm going to be absolutely livid. Dean recovers in midfield, sends Doran down into the channel. Just head to the corner flag, please. Head to the corner flag, please. Johnson's gone through him, put it out for a throw-in. We're through 3.5 minutes of additional time. 30 seconds remaining, boys. Just take your time. Morris is going to take the throw-in on the right-hand side here. Just head to the corner flag, lads. Played into Ramsey, who immediately loses the ball and clears it up the line to Richards. Thankfully, someone gets in there and boots it out for a free kick. No, sorry. I thought it was a free kick. It's a throw-in for us. We're through the 4 minutes now, ref. Feel free to blow the whistle at any point. Ramsey, back to Morris. Send it into the channel. Ricky Dean goes to follow, and thank God the referee has called full time. A wonderful comeback performance, though. I should give the team credit. 17 shots, 8 on target, 50% possession. They had 9 shots, 5 on target, 50% of the ball. A fair result? I think so, passionately. You've done brilliantly to come back and win that, and everybody has responded fantastically well. We're starting to get the first fitness concerns come through. Scott Welsh is a little jaded and can do with the rest. I want him to get him through the next match, but what I might do is give him the week off in between so that he's still available for the fixture. FC Isle of Man come from behind to win. Henry Doran, as he has been so many times already this season, the goal scorer with 2 goals and 8.8 match rating as the player of the game. We're going to do this post-match press conference because I don't actually do that many of them anymore. A good result for your side out there. How surprising was it for you given your pre-match opinions of Lucas Atkins and his team? I'm very pleased with the result. Let's go with that. You're expected to be amongst those scrapping it out for survival this season, yet you, after a stunning start with FC Isle of Man flying high, how far can your team go? We're only about 4 points off the relegation spots, boys. Let's not get it carried away. We provide blah, 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 blah. We can't get a set ahead of ourselves. We'll take it one match at a time. That's a good response. You've managed to extend your impressive run of consecutive victories over Rotherham. I don't ever remember playing them, to be honest. How do you feel about that particular record? I really only want to win. It doesn't matter who we're up against. We'll go with that. How about that for a comeback? You must be thrilled. And we were fantastic. A joy to behold. Doran shines. Let's give him a bit of praise as well. Show him some love. I don't think we're ever going to be able to afford him, given that he's currently on £9,000 a week and 12 million value. But unless Chelsea are going to offer him at like a knockdown price, I don't think we can sign him permanently. But he's been excellent for us so far this season. We're going to utilise those rest days. It looks like Welsh is the main one that needs a rest. We're going to give him a full week off. And then everybody else that started the game, we might as well give them 1 day so that they can still get through training and go from there. But it's a winning team, so we might as well keep consistency with it. And we'll jump forward and have a look at the lineups for the West Brom game now. All right, and just like that, we are about a week ahead. Everyone's had a bit of a rest break, and Welsh looks like he's doing all right. We might have to do that again in a couple of games' time if he continues to play week in, week out, and get called up for international under-21 football as well. They're playing a 4-3-3. West Brom struggled quite a bit, actually. I was just looking through their club history. And really, they've just consistently yo-yoed between the Championship and Premier League level without really getting any consistent time in either one. So they were promoted in 2021, relegated in 2022 from the Premier League, promoted again as champions in 2023, then relegated again in 2024. They spent 2 seasons in the Championship before getting promoted again via the playoffs, and last season relegated out of the Premier League in 20th spot. And they're struggling again this year as well, sitting down in 18th position. So just a wild time for any West Brom fans that are currently watching the game. And hopefully we can take a little bit of advantage on it on our way through to a good performance, but they have got some very good players. We'll actually jump back in and have a look at their lineup more so than ours. Victor Fisher, a wonderful, wonderful player for a very long time, was a very high youth prospect in the game. 17 determination, 16 finishing, 16 flair. Very good left wing player, still at 34 years of age, performing at a good level. Rian Brewster, obviously a very high potential striker at the Liverpool Academy at the start of your save, wherever you're playing from. 17 determination, 16 off the ball. I don't think it's quite worked out for him the way that he would have thought it would. Now 28 years of age, only ever made under 21 appearances for England, never really hit top form either. There's no seasons here where it looks like he scored a tremendous amount of goals despite going out on loan to Preston, Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth at a lower level before moving to Cardiff. Bristol City, 18 goals in 70 appearances for him, probably the best return, and it kind of makes sense why they're playing him on the right wing. They've got Douglas Luiz, who's a pretty solid player, 30-year-old Brazilian anchorman in midfield. Starts, I think, this save at Aston Villa, where he's been for most of the few years before joining West Brom permanently. And Rongier is their captain. Valentin Rongier, not a youth international, but a French player coming through Nantes and then Olympique Marseille. He looks solid, nothing spectacular. I think they can be gotten at, but the big difference is just the values of the players that you see along there. Passionately, we're going to say media have given a lot of credit lately. It's working so far. We're not in horrific form. We've got an opportunity for our first 6-point episode of the season, trademark. We've got a ball in here. It's pinballing around. Welsh gets the strike away, but Rongier recovers. Now, is there a counter-attack here for West Brom? Thankfully, they've given us the ball back. You can do this with a little bit more urgency there, right? As he works himself into a corner and gives possession back. Bard, all the way back to Rodak, the goalkeeper. Little chip ball over the top, finds Wallace. Oh, they nearly played it in to Henry Dorans there. Long ball forward. Finds Ryan Brewster for his first involvement on the right-hand side. Again, he's going backwards. They're very timid in possession. Just when you think they're potentially going to go at us a little bit, they just kind of go backwards and then go for a long ball. Bard all the way back to Rubens, with pressure was nearly on there with Doran's applying the press again. Wallace with the switch out towards Brian Brewster, who now skips past an opponent and gets a shot in from the wide angle. Why do I open my mouth sometimes? I think as soon as I said that they don't really have much urgency, it kind of meant that Sports Interactive, who of course was listening into this, decided then that Ryan Brewster was going to go on a lovely little run and play a fantastic finish beyond the unrushing goalkeeper. That's the touch that kills us, where he just goes around Preston Kelly like he's not even there. The defender, the central defender, Taylor, doesn't come across till late to close down the angle. And the keeper maybe could have made a dive at it just to get his gear dirty, but an excellent finish into the far post. Goal kick here starts with Sheriff, played forward to Taylor, into Ramsey, who can turn in midfield in that free roll at the 10. Instead he plays square to Wolf, who looks for Doran over the shoulder. Great ball and a great touch. Oh, and nearly a wonderful finish. Doran did quite well driving that back across the keeper. If it had been on target, it definitely would have been an equaliser. And goddamn, I love the Wolf. I know I say it every episode, but eventually we're going to do probably episode 100. It'll just be a Wolf Appreciation Day where I just watch clips of him. We're going to say get creative with 10 minutes remaining before the half. We have been the better side statistically. We just need to try and find an equaliser before we go in half time. I don't want to have two games in an episode where we have to do comebacks both times. It would kind of be disappointing. We're going to go aggressive again, show me something else in the second half. Everyone at least seems motivated. We're going to leave it on positive and we'll give it 15 more minutes for players to respond and try and find an equaliser. Ball in here now to Rogers, right, with a good recovery challenge. Now back to Welsh, who has picked up a yellow card. Taylor also on a yellow card. We'll probably have to make a defensive sub at some point. Long ball forward, but it's cleared by the West Brom defence. Back into Wallace. We've got two men around him. We don't both need to go, boys. Just one of you commit. Welsh with an excellent header. Forward to Rowley. Now back to the Wolf. And back to Rowley again. We've got 2v1 on the left if we stay out that side. Wolf nearly loses possession uncharacteristically after I was glowing about him in the first half. Dorber back into the Wolf again. Now Dorber released on the right-hand side. Can he get the cross back in? Squares it towards back post, Rowley with the header, but it was a poor effort, always ballooning over the crossbar. But at least a step in the right direction. We're getting him behind. We're keeping possession. Rodak's going to reset from the resulting goal kick. It's a long one forward. Rogers managed to bring it down and turn Taylor at the top of the box and get the strike away and get the follow-up. So we're 2-0 down now. That's very disappointing. We can check it out in 3 dimensions here. I think Rogers strikes the ball and it potentially hits Taylor, and then he's just the first one alert to the rebound. He shouldn't be able to bring that ball down from a goal kick and turn away. That's very, very poor from the captain. And yeah, he strikes initially. It hits Taylor in the back because he's not goal side and not facing the ball. And then the secondary effort is a good strike to be fair, but only the 4th goal of the season for Morgan Rogers. We must just be like a form guy's dream. Like any punter that's trying to put a multi-bet on that looks at us on being like he's offside there surely. And thankfully, it's pulled back. No, it's not. It's gone out for the corner. We're going to see the resulting corner here to be taken by... Who's that over there in the corner? Fisher. Going to wrap his foot around it. Good header away from Taylor. Rowley flicks it on when he maybe could have tried to clear it. DeWitt in possession. Rowley's managed to recover in a good spot. Let's make these subs. Doran really struggling, but he's our best finisher. So we're going to bring on... Preston Kelly will come off. Sam Morris will come on as a wing back on defend. Tyrone Taylor's been poor, so we're going to take him off and bring on Matt McCluskey as a central defender. I'll trust Scott Welsh to get through the game. And Rowley's also struggled, so Rafinha will come in on the left-hand side. Passionately, we're going to say, I have faith in you boys. It's going to be a tall task to try and equalise from 2-0 down with 30 minutes remaining. Got a free kick here. Ramsey to take back post, and Welsh with the header. A wonderful first goal for the season and for the club, and that may potentially be his first goal as a senior footballer. I don't think he played all that much in his Arsenal career. And a wonderful header back across the goalkeeper. Great ball in from Ramsey. Tremendous pace on it. Welsh does very well. No keeper in the world is saving that one. So we've pulled one back with 30 minutes remaining. What can we do from here? Very little, it would appear, as we jump towards the last 10 minutes. We're going to demand more for the last 10 minutes. Or here, everyone seems focused. Come on, boys, push on a little bit. Got to throw in here. Right to take on the right-hand side. Plays into Wolf, who loses out for a second, but then recovers possession. Over to right now. Just work the 2v1, boys. Now we play the Wolf, who looks in behind for Doran, who's picked up a bit of a knock, and it wasn't a bad effort, actually, from the wide area. If you had got that on target, it would have wriggled past the keeper. 5 minutes to be added on here. Is there any late drama for either side? We're through most of that now, and I think this is going to play out. It has indeed. The referee calls full time. 10 shots, 3 on target, 58% possession. 7 shots, 5 on target, 42% for West Brom. They definitely set up in a particular structure, and it worked well for them. Assertively, far from pleased with what I just saw from this team. If they're 18th in the league and we're in the top half, we should be beating a side like that. Youthful FC Isle of Man come unstuck. Franz Wolf still managed to get an 8.3 match rating, 99 passes completed. We couldn't have just given him one little 1-2 there at some point to get him to 100. Stuart Dauber's got a knock. He'll be out for about 2 weeks. Henry Doran's out for about 7 days, which is a bit disappointing. But let's praise the Wolf. He was superb in the number and quality of chances that he created. Right, where does that leave us? Looking forward, we do have a little bit of a run of games here in November, and I think we'll probably continue the current rhythm that we're doing. As good as September was, you look at October, and 3 defeats in that time is pretty poor. Hopefully, tomorrow we can finish the week with a 6-point episode. That would be absolutely magnificent. We've got a chance to play Ipswich away from home. They're currently sitting in 11th spot. It will be a good test. And then we've got Blackburn, who are now in 14th. They did humble us 6-1 in the Carabao Cup. It will be a very different lineup going into that game at Ewood Park. So a good chance for a revenge for us in that one. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are enjoying the series so far. If you have any feedback, positive or negative, if you just want to let me know about what saves you're doing in FM20 and how you're enjoying the game, drop it in the comment section below. I do respond to every single comment that I get myself as soon as I see them. And of course, that interaction and that growth in the community is always fantastic. You can drop a like on this video if you want to please that YouTube algorithm, get more views on the series, get higher results when people search for Football Manager or Isle of Man. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all our future videos as they continue to release throughout the course of this year. But as always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you guys again in the mixer.